Taiwan is a heavily disputed territory off the coast of mainland China with a population of 23.5 million and some of the world's most important industrial centers. While tensions between China and Taiwan often make headlines, this video focuses on a trend that could be just as devastating for most of the world. Taiwan has become the second richest major economy in Asia, after Japan, and is on track to overtake it in the next few years if current trends continue. Taiwan's transition from a poor agrarian makeshift settlement to a developed economy is not unique, but it is interesting because it was one of the last major economies to make that jump. Many developing economies around the world are struggling to make the transition to advanced economies, and brain drain is making it even more difficult. Brain drain is the process by which educated and skilled workers emigrate from developing countries to developed ones, leaving behind a shortage of skilled labor. This exacerbates the problems that developing countries face and makes it almost impossible for them to catch up with the developed world. This video explores how brain drain is making rich countries richer and poor countries poorer, and whether there is any way to stop this trend from continuing. It highlights the challenges that developing countries face in making the transition to advanced economies and the potential consequences of failing to do so. Economists generally agree that an advanced economy is not clearly defined, but it is typically characterized by a GDP per capita of at least $20,000 per year, advanced technical industries, a well-regulated market system, and a high score on the Human Development Index. The combination of these factors is crucial in determining a country's status as an advanced economy. Institutions like the IMF use these criteria to classify countries as advanced, emerging, or low income. While some countries may have higher GDP per capita than others, other factors such as technological advancements and market regulations are also considered. Therefore, determining what qualifies as an advanced economy is subjective and varies among economists. Brain drain refers to the phenomenon where highly educated and skilled workers leave their home countries in search of better opportunities in other countries. This migration can be driven by factors such as higher pay, better living conditions, or the desire to escape violence, corruption, or persecution. Typically, the most productive members of developing economies leave for advanced economies, which offer better living conditions and higher paying jobs. For example, an engineer in India may earn a decent salary of 800,000 rupees per year, or approximately $10,000, but if they were to qualify as an engineer in the United States, they could potentially earn 10 times that amount or more. Moreover, the United States offers a less crowded and polluted environment than most areas of India. Many people from India and other countries will take such opportunities if presented to them, which hurts the countries they are leaving. These countries lose their most productive workers, who are often the ones who pay the most taxes, produce the most value, and have the highest chances of driving innovation and making the country wealthier. This brain drain occurs just as these workers stop being an economic burden and begin contributing to the economy. While children and students are an economic burden, as they take more money from the economy than they contribute, this is normally an investment worth making. Governments or families in undeveloped economies see this as a worthwhile investment because children will go on to look after their parents when they can no longer work. Moreover, having children in these countries is relatively cheap, so they effectively create a low-cost workforce and a retirement plan all in one. However, in developing and advanced economies, the benefits of investing in education are different. Children will go on to produce far more value in their working lives, and the government loses out on their parents' taxable incomes while they are looking after them. Overall, brain drain is a complex issue that has far-reaching implications for both the countries that experience it and the countries that benefit from it. In addition to cultural factors, demographics play a crucial role in the economies of countries. Low-income countries typically have young populations with many children, while in high-income countries, the cost-benefit of having children is reversed. Raising children in these countries is costly, often requiring parents to leave the workforce for an extended period of time. Laws in these countries also prohibit the use of children for labor, even in family businesses. Additionally, there is no expectation that children will financially support their parents in old age, as alternative systems are already in place for this purpose. As a result, most major and developing economies around the world today are facing demographic challenges where people are not having enough children to continue the cycle of young generations looking after the elderly. If a majority of people become too old to work, it will put a significant strain on the few young people who can work, either directly as more and more of the workforce gets dedicated to looking after the elderly, or indirectly as young workers are forced to pay higher taxes to cover the costs of caring for an aging population. This phenomenon is already happening, as the labor force participation rate in most countries is falling as people opt out of the workforce earlier than what economists assume. These figures also do not account for the growing population of people over the assumed working age who will require even more care. Low-income and developing countries will feel this effect the most, as a higher proportion of their jobs involve physical labor, which cannot be done by people who are too old or frail. High-income advanced economies have a significant advantage over low-income and developing economies. They are able to attract skilled workers from other countries, while these countries suffer from brain drain. The problem is accelerated for low-income and developing countries because they also have aging populations. Rich countries are able to benefit from brain drain by being the sink for those brains, drawing skilled workers who want to move there to start a better life. Advanced countries have the ability to select how many skilled workers they want to enter their economy by adjusting the number of skilled worker visas they give out. After the global pandemic and record unemployment rates combined with low labor force participation, a lot of governments are opening up to record numbers of skilled migrants. These workers can help fix the problems of an aging population and also act as a form of economic stimulus. When people move to a new country, they need to buy many new items to establish themselves, such as new cars, furniture, phones, internet plans, and a new house with everything that comes with it, whether they are renting or buying. Skilled migrants bring money from their home country into the host country, stimulating its economy. One area where this is most evident is in schooling. One of the primary paths to residency for most people moving from a low-income or developing economy into an advanced economy is through student visa programs. University education is more expensive for international students in developed countries. Despite the higher cost, international students are a significant source of revenue for these universities. In some cases, universities have been caught passing poorly performing international students to ensure a good reputation for future recruitment. While international students provide a significant source of revenue for universities, there are concerns about academic integrity. They take the places of local students who might have wanted to attend the university, but missed out due to the competition. In some cases, international students arrive with little to no language skills and questionable academic performance, which is unfair to local students who missed out on a place. Despite these small-scale issues, the process of introducing skilled labor to an economy through international student programs is almost perfect from a macroeconomic perspective. The country that receives international students gets direct stimulus from abroad, which funds their research institutions. The students also pay for their everyday living expenses like housing, food, entertainment, and often work part-time jobs to support themselves. They usually take up unskilled jobs that people don't care about, which helps the host country. When international students graduate and enter the workforce, they start at the very beginning of their careers, maximizing the time they can add value and pay taxes to the country that did not support them as children. This ensures that advanced economies get the best and brightest workers, which helps progress innovation and makes their industries more advanced and competitive than any alternatives that come from developing economies that lose their most promising innovators. Brain drain, the phenomenon where talented individuals leave their home country to work in more developed countries, is a problem that is already stifling the growth of dozens of countries around the world. Economists are wondering how they can stop it. The fact is that advanced economies are almost always going to be more desirable places to live and work than developing economies, not only because they offer higher incomes to workers, but also because they generally have lower levels of corruption, crime, and pollution, while also having better access to healthcare, education, and other public utilities. Of course, this is a generalization, and there are examples of certain developing economies that beat out certain advanced economies in these factors, but it generally holds true. The first thing that can be done to at least slow brain drain is to make sure a developing country is a good place to live. People will be less likely to move abroad if living conditions at home are good. Getting rid of pollution, crime, and corruption while providing better public services is much easier said than done, but it does highlight the importance of people, even in macroeconomics where the focus tends to be on big industries and trade deals. The other more direct approach countries can take is to invest heavily into industries that have the potential to make them advanced economies. South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, some of the most successful economies of the last 5 decades, all got started with strong government programs designed to build out world-leading technical industries in the country. This is distinct from low-cost manufacturing in places like China or India, and even from services in places like the Philippines. These are industries that are controlled by the greatest innovators, not the lowest bidders. Japan still designs and manufactures a lot of the world's most advanced electronic devices. South Korea is home to dozens of globally competitive companies, and by now, many people are aware of just how important Taiwan's industries are to the global economy. Investment in these industries often involves paying lots of money to people so that they move to less desirable countries and provide their expertise for long enough to get the industry off the ground. It's also a risky endeavor with no guarantees of success, and it could just as easily take up a lot of government money that could have been spent on providing public services and getting rid of crime, corruption, pollution, and all of the other things that made people want to look abroad for a better life to begin with. Thank you so much for watching the video, and thanks for watching until the end, and bye for now.